Dogs can smell cancer with their noses. Their tongues are more powerful than a rocket. Now, who needs a ride? But what if you could harness the mantis shrimp's incredible power? If your arms were as fast as his, how far do you think you could throw a baseball? Would it be A, from New York to California, B, from New York to Tokyo, or C, the Big Apple into outer space? Plus, find out how this 4-inch marvel's exoskeleton could finally make humans bulletproof. The mantis shrimp. A 4-inch long crustacean that just happens to have the most powerful punch known to man. We asked, if you could harness the mantis shrimp's speed in your own arms, how far do you think you could throw a baseball? Would it be A, from New York to California, B, from New York to Tokyo, or C, the Big Apple into outer space? The answer is C. In fact, by using just 10% of a mantis shrimp's acceleration, you could blast a baseball into orbit 600 times faster than a NASA rocket. The elephant. Their ears can be over 1/6 the size of their entire body. But you're about to find out how they can hear with their feet.
They're just sort of mind-blowing.
It creates ghosts with its ink and can taste with its body. Sever one of its limbs, and that limb will keep moving like a snake. It can completely change shape in 0.3 of a second. And some people even believe it can predict the future. The octopus. One of the most cunning survivalists. It has 8 of them, but do you know what they're called? Are they A, arms, B, legs, or C, tentacles? Plus, does this octopus have the psychic skills to beat the Vegas odds? The octopus, an alien with 8 famous appendages. But are they arms, legs, or tentacles? The answer? Now we get back to our breakdown of the octopus's most essential survival tools. And 8 of the most important of those tools are those arms. The lion. Its mane is an aphrodisiac, and its tail a weapon of war. But is the king prepared to take on every other cat on Earth?
To be the king has got to be just amazing.
This is where savage meets science, and wild becomes wow. This is everything you didn't know about animals. Their ancestors are millions of years older than dinosaurs. They can drink and breathe through their skin. They're small enough to hold in your hand, but maybe use gloves, because some of them can carry enough toxins to kill 20 full-grown men. Frog number 4 doesn't have see-through skin, and probably can't help preserve Paris Hilton's head, but its family did help launch the career of one of the greatest writers of all time. In 1865, a relatively unknown journalist wrote a short story called The Celebrated Jumping Frog of Calaveras County. The story ended up being the writer's first real success. That man was Samuel Clemens, aka Mark Twain. The subject of his story was a close relative of the American bull. Can you guess the unusual way frogs get food from their throats to their stomachs? Do they A, push it down with their arms, B, push it down with their eyes, or C, expand their stomachs into their throats? And find out how one frog's feet could help save lives. Frogs can flip food up to 3 times their own weight into their mouths faster than you can blink. But swallowing prey whole isn't easy. We asked if you could guess the unusual way in which frogs get their food from their throats to their stomachs. Do they A, push it down with their arms, B, push it down with their eyes, or C, expand their stomachs into their throats? As hard as it might be to swallow, the eyes have it. The answer is B. It might be able to tell if a mouse is pregnant just by hearing it. Here in Britain, one species can devour over 168,000 bats in a year. Its feet are stronger than a German shepherd's bite, and its whole face is an ear. All this and its wings may be the future of human flight. The owl is coming. It can hear a mouse's footsteps from a quarter of a mile away. Its razor-sharp talons can crush prey with more force than a German shepherd's bite. They're one of the oldest mountain birds, and were once so big, even people had to watch their backs. They're silent, they're deadly. The owl is one of the world's most perfect predators. Quieter planes mean airlines that don't have to worry about noise restrictions, which means they can schedule more flights and increase their profits. Usual shape the eyes of owls most resemble. Is it A, a pear, B, an oval, or C, a dumbbell? And could an owl ever pick up a person?
I mean, it would be a predator of humans, most definitely.
In 2012, a blind screech owl was rescued in California. And when it opened its eyes, rescuers saw what looked like the starry night sky looking back at them. But even less celestial owls have pretty unusual eyes. We asked you to guess what unique shape the owl's eyes most resemble. Is it A, a pear, B, an oval, or C, a dumbbell? The answer?
You know, when we look at an owl's eye, all we're seeing is just the very surface of it, and they're round. But actually, when you take them out, they're more pear-shaped.
The owl's eyeballs aren't round at all. And their unusual shape helps the owl hunt prey in near total darkness. There was once an ancient barn owl that stood 5 feet tall and had a 12-foot wingspan. Its name was Tyto gigantea.
That'd be a little scary to see a 5-foot owl. That would be quite a predator. It would be a predator of humans, most definitely of something of that size.
Only one cat with the power and presence to earn that title. The lion, the true king of cats. Pounds was the biggest cat to ever live. These kings were at one time the most widely distributed felines on Earth, more than any other mammal except humans. Perhaps one reason the lion is considered the king is because he's had some good PR. For over 90 years, MGM has been using the lion to open most of its movies. What some consider to be the first known programmable computer in the world, dating back over 500 years, was Leonardo da Vinci's robot of a lion. Over 40 sports teams on 6 continents have named their teams after the lion. The stage show of The Lion King has to date made over $6.2 billion worldwide, the highest gross of any work in any media in entertainment history. As fierce as the king of beasts can be, there's a surprisingly small animal in Africa that has been known to pose a big threat to lionkind. Is it A, the baboon tarantula, B, the porcupine, or C, the army ant? And better killing through cuddling? We asked you which small animal can pose a big threat to lions. Is it A, the baboon tarantula, B, the porcupine, or C, the army ant? The answer is B, the porcupine. Now, the rhinoceros might look very different.
I mean, who knows? Maybe there'll be several hundred species like there used to be.
If it gets a little colder, we might see the resurgence of something that we had 10, 12, 15 million years ago, which was the woolly rhino.
And maybe there'll be hornless forms and giant rhinos like giraffe that are feeding off the trees in California or New York. It's hard to say what rhinos will look like in the future.
Hopefully, these fabulous beasts will still be around. The rhinoceros may be one of the biggest, but size isn't everything. And some of the most powerful animals on the planet are no bigger than a tennis ball. These are our top 3 most amazing small wonders. Number 3 is on the list because it may provide a link to understanding how alcohol consumption started in humans. It's the pen-tailed tree shrew. This rarely seen shrew chronically consumes fermented nectar, and at any given second has a blood alcohol level that could kill a person.
It's the equivalent to a human drinking 12 glasses of wine in under 2 hours. I would be on the ground.
Number 2 on our countdown of small in stature big hitters is a real force to be reckoned with. The honey possum. It's just half the size of a mouse, but it has, in relation to the size of its body, the largest testicles of any animal on Earth.
If humans had testicles that size, I mean, they literally would have watermelons in their pants.
But few animals are as amazing as our number 1 small wonder. If you can get past the freak factor, you'll find an animal so powerful it could make life more livable for humans. It's the naked mole rat. They can get by on just 33% of the amount of oxygen needed by other creatures their size, which may be one reason why naked mole rats virtually never age. Unlike other animals its size, which live just a few years, naked mole rats are capable of scraping out a life in the tunnels for over 30 years. That makes them the longest living rodents in the world.
And not only are they living that long time, but they're showing almost no signs of aging. In really long periods of drought where they can't find food, they can reduce their metabolic intake up to 25%. That's just so amazing.
Take a good look. These wrinkles could be the new face of eternal youth. Not only could they be the key to us living longer, They may also help make that quality of life better, because they could help eliminate pain in people. Naked mole rats lack a key neurotransmitter in their skin called substance P. It's what communicates pain to their brain. It's believed to be an adaptation to living underground, where high amounts of carbon dioxide would build up painful acids in a normal mammal's body.
And so there might be some really key medical breakthroughs in understanding pain management or developing new pain medicines based on this.
As if all of these abilities weren't crazy enough, the naked mole rat takes it one step further. It's the most incredible adaptation yet. They are completely resistant to cancer. The naked mole rat has special molecules that prevent cells from overcrowding, which may limit out-of-control cancer growth.
Cancer has never been observed on a naked mole rat, and these are being examined to understand cancers better and possibly be able to prevent cancers or fight cancers in humans.
So take time to appreciate the little things out there. They may not always be pretty, but they might help keep us alive. Some say they can stay standing even after they die. They can strip the face off an antelope with their tongues. They eat bears. And some people believe there may be a secret symbol hidden in their stripes. The tiger. It has the strength to find out what makes the tiger such an amazing predator. We're taking a look at some of the ways it achieves this, beginning with the first equation. A tiger must be the perfect balance of both power . This is not a tiger, but it's not far off. Because even the fiercest tiger is the perfect balance of both kitten and cat. What some people think of as the saber-toothed tiger wasn't a tiger at all. Can you guess which of these replacement names we should be calling this fanged beast? Is it A, a saber-toothed lion, B, a saber-toothed possum, or C, a saber-toothed pig? And the perfect balance of sex and violence. Are there secret messages hidden in a tiger's stripes? Some believe so. To the Chinese, the lines on a tiger's head look like the character Wang, meaning king. But some of the earliest tigers weren't tigers at all. We asked you what name might be more fitting for what most people now know as the saber-toothed tiger. Is it A, saber-toothed lion, B, saber-toothed possum, or C, saber-toothed pig? The answer is B, a saber-toothed possum.
There's different saber-toothed cats. What we truly think of as the saber-toothed tiger was actually a marsupial. So it was related to animals like possums.
Today's true tigers are near-perfect predators, at the very top of the food chain. But it takes a special mix to achieve that status, including the perfect balance of light and dark.
Anyone that does yoga, you hold that pose for a few minutes, your muscles are burning.
According to one website, the current public record for the longest time a human has held a dancer's pose is just 6 minutes and 52 seconds. The tiger holds its pose for 47 hours and 53 minutes longer. It takes a lot of space to accommodate a cat this big. A single Siberian tiger needs as much as 600 square miles worth of resources.
It's almost half the size of the state of Rhode Island, just to kind of put that in perspective.
The need for so much personal space is one of the reasons we don't usually see tigers hanging out in prides like lions. Maintain the perfect balance of sex and violence. And the patience, secret stripes, and heat-seeking teeth. But is this apex predator tough enough to take on another larger-than-life champion? One of the most highly skilled athletes of all time, Tiger Woods. An epic battle of undisputed champions. The tiger is a perfectly balanced creature, right down to its bones. Its hind legs are longer than the front, which helps propel the tiger up to 10 feet high. At the same time, its solid forelimb bones support large muscles, allowing them to wrestle big prey to the ground. But as flawless as the tiger seems to be, there is another perfectly balanced competitor out there. One with a peak body, and with the skills to give the tiger a run for its money. It's Tiger versus Tiger. Tiger Woods weighs about 185 pounds and stands tall at 6'1". An average Siberian tiger weighs between 400 and 700 pounds, and stretched out end to end would stand up to 11 feet tall. So that's advantage to the cat. A tiger can also see 6 times better in the dark than a human, so it would probably win any night tournaments. But now the competition really heats up. Let's take it to the links. Not that sort of links. When Tiger Woods hits the ball, his club reaches a top speed of 130 miles per hour. When a tiger hits its prey, it's at Woods. Tiger Woods can drive a ball nearly 400 yards. A tiger is not so adept. Tiger Woods has won 26% of all PGA events he's ever entered, has a driving accuracy of 46.4%, and can sink a putt from 6 feet or closer with an amazing 100% accuracy. A real tiger only catches prey 1 out of every 10 hunts, an accuracy rate of just 10%. It's not looking good for the tiger, especially since with all of his achievements, Tiger Woods was #1 in the world for an incredible 683 weeks. But the tiger has been the #1 predator in its environment for over 2 million years. So, according to the laws of nature, unless Tiger Woods uncovers the fountain of youth, the tiger is and will always be the most perfectly balanced champion in the land. Orangutans. They can look into the future. They have 5 hands. And you won't believe what they have in common with your doctor.
What's not cool about orangutans?
And raccoons. Their fingers act as eyes. They've lived in the White House, and they may just have the intelligence to take over the world one day.
Raccoons kind of do have some superpowers.
And find out which beast bites more than sharks. Which dog is 50 times richer than Barack Obama, and which animal has the most insatiable sex drive in the animal kingdom.
Instead of fighting over it and squabbling, they might partake in a little nookie.
This is where savage meets science, and wild becomes wow. This is everything you didn't know about animals. A crow named Tartar once lived to be 59 years old. During lean times, marine iguanas can shrink their entire bodies, bones and all, by 20%. The blue-ringed octopus has enough venom in its golf ball-sized body to kill 10 to 20 full-grown men. The biggest, the baddest, the sexiest, and more. These are Wild Party Facts. But it's not all fun and games. Things are about to get a little bloody. "100 vampire bats can drink the equivalent blood of 25 cows every year. A great white can detect blood in the ocean from up to 3 miles away. But the most gruesome of them all may just be the hairy frog, aka the horror frog. When startled, the horror frog will actually break its own toe bones, then pierce its own skin to create claws.
And it's one of the only situations in the animal world where it looks like an animal intentionally breaks its limbs to do something it needs to do.
It's a horrific but cracking adaptation. We love our animals often more than we care for each other, and it would be terrible to think that a pampered pet might not be looked after we're gone. In 2011, a rescued stray cat named Tommaso inherited $13 million when his owner passed away. But that's nothing when compared to a German shepherd named Gunther. He earned the title of world's richest animal after inheriting $372 million from his owner. That's $367 million more than the estimated net worth of US President Barack Obama. Finally, it's time to send the young cubs to bed, because this last set of party facts are for adult eyes only. Male crows have no penis. Koalas have 2. When pigs mate, it can last for up to 30 minutes. But the sexiest animal of all must surely be the bonobo. Next to chimpanzees, they are our closest cousins. They use sex for everything from saying hello to solving conflicts.
Two bonobos see a piece of fruit on the ground or a Snickers bar, and instead of fighting over it and squabbling, they might partake in a little nookie, and then maybe they'll forget there even was a Snickers bar there.
Bonobos are also the only mammals beside humans that prefer to face each other when engaging in intercourse. But even for them, the party has to end sometime. Primates, like bonobos, are one of the few mammals besides humans that undergo menopause. Like us, animals really are looking to have a good time. And with a fortune of hundreds of millions of dollars, that shouldn't be too tricky. They can see in complete darkness, using only their hands. They've lived in the White House, and they could go higher than that.
We could have raccoon astronauts. They can manage anything.
And you won't believe what they have in common with Godzilla. Raccoons. They've held court with the most powerful men on Earth and made fools out of nuts. But how did they get there in the first place? Can you guess the surprising way raccoons found their way to the land of the rising sun? Was it because of A, a shipwreck, B, a cartoon character, or C, a prank gone wrong? With their bandit masks and striped tails, raccoons are cute, whether or not you think they're pests. But just how powerful are those looks? President Calvin Coolidge and his wife owned a pet raccoon during their time in the White House.
They were actually given a raccoon from constituents that was initially meant like for the stew pot, but They thought it was adorable enough that they basically adopted it as a pet and named it Rebecca.
Raccoons can carve out a place for themselves anywhere, and that's become a big problem in Japan. We asked you to guess the surprising way in which raccoons ended up there. Was it because of A, a shipwreck, B, a cartoon character, or C, a prank gone wrong? The answer is B, a cartoon character. So even with all these amazing abilities, should raccoons be considered common vermin? Vermin seems harsh. They may have a bright future.
If we came back in 100 years, I bet you there'll be different species. I firmly believe that raccoons will be our overlords.
It's fast enough to take a swipe at a cheetah's tail, or pluck a bird from midair. It can jump more than 10 feet high in a single bound. Its ears may be weapons, and its teeth can save sheep. The tiger is famous for those colorful stripes, and the lion is the undisputed king of the beasts. But there is a much smaller wildcat, every bit as impressive as its cousins. It's only 3 feet long and 40 pounds, but it can run almost as fast as a cheetah, jump higher than a basketball hoop, and has been known to take down more birds with one pounce than your average house cat kills in 6 weeks. It's not a bobcat, it's not a lynx. It's the caracal.
Caracals are the coolest animal in the world, and they are just this amazing, majestic cat that most people have never heard of.
What is it that makes the caracal the coolest cat you didn't know existed? We're taking a look at just a few of the most amazing reasons to care about the caracal. Firstly, it's got one of the highest jumps in the animal kingdom. In a way, caracals can fly. Birds beware. Even in the sky, you're not safe from the caracal.
Caracals can leap at least 10 feet up in the air. There's anecdotal reports of caracals leaping as high as 15, maybe even 16 feet into the air to retrieve birds.
That's high enough to take a swipe at a giraffe's chin. And with powerful hind legs that are longer than their forelegs, caracals can jump that high from a seated position.
They can just be sitting there and then just spring up into the air 10 feet and literally snatch a bird out of the air. They're so graceful and so powerful. And yeah, you do feel bad for the birds, but they've got to eat.
To find prey in the wild, the caracal uses ears as sleek and complex as any animal.
So a human ear has about 6 muscles, and caracals have 20 muscles in each ear.
That extra musculature allows caracals to rotate each ear backwards and forwards, independently of each other, like little satellite dishes collecting sound from all directions. But a lot of animals have great hearing. The reason we may want to care just a little more about the caracal's ears is because they can use them as weapons of distraction.
Caracals, their main recognizable feature are those long ear tufts with these little black tassels at the end of their ears.
A caracal's ear tufts can be nearly 2 inches long. There are many theories as to why they exist. They may be part of the caracal's hunting strategy.
I have personally observed caracals slowly stalk towards their prey, and they'll flick each tassel. I'm not sure if it imitates the like grass blowing, or if somehow that movement is just so unnatural that you look at that tassel as opposed to looking at this huge cat stalking towards you.
So mesmerized birds don't see the rest of the cat. Until it's too late. Just like the tiger, lion, and every other cat, caracals are carnivores. But for some keepers of livestock, that may actually be a reason to care about the caracal, because their killing can save lives. In South Africa, a battle is brewing. It's cats v dogs, on a lethal scale. Caracals versus jackals. The caracal is outnumbered, but this cat doesn't run from a fight. Caracals are so good at fighting off jackals, some sheep herders have started intentionally releasing them onto their land as protection. After doing so, one rancher has gone from losing 50 sheep a year to jackals to just 6. But for this caracal, it's not about saving sheep. It's about survival. Soon, the outnumbered cat has one jackal on the ground.